Good evening. Hello, everybody.
Boom, boom. Evening.
How do? Happy New Year.
We were talking about changing that intro music, by the way, at some point, coming up with like a snazzier video. I actually quite like it now. That's kind of like
because it came on when you do the countdown. I'm sitting there going boom, 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 and then I thought, who's going to change that? I was still carrying on dancing.
Well, I thought you could put the quintessential countdown music in, didn't you? Really?
That'd be quality, yeah.
Yeah, we've got to pay for that one though if we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as we can get what's her name, Rachel Reed or something.
I'll go straight to the top, mate. Go to Vorderman. She'll let us have it.
Good old Vorderman.
I thought we were going to get Carol Vorderman.
Oldie but goodie.
Yeah.
Right, hello everyone. Dan, hi, Rachel, Wayne, Simon. Thanks for the comments so far. Nice to see everyone. I hope everyone's having an excellent 2021. It's obviously great to leave 2020 behind, firmly locked away.
Yeah, because this year started off so much better, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be optimistic. We're only on day 8, so it's only 350 something days till Christmas.
That's it. I'm just holding up 2022. That's going to be the year.
Let's hope so.
Yep.
Sean, happy New Year, mate.
So, yeah, Mike, welcome back.
Thank you. Good. It's good to be back.
Welcome back to Mr. Marden.
Yeah, it's I had to obviously take a break for the reasons I had to take a break, but obviously it was obviously amongst the family it was very much needed, which is good. But equally I've had obviously a bit of time off, sort of focusing my energy elsewhere. But no, it's good to be back. I think as we was having a bit of a pre-chat, but before we sort of jumped on, it's whilst all play and all airsoft conversations have stopped, the spending hasn't. There's always time to sort of think about what kit you need and what you need to optimize. So the purchases have not stopped. But yeah, great to be back. Really great to be back. And equally, obviously looking ahead for the next couple of months, we ain't got no events to go to. So it's great to be getting stuck in, chatting to you guys, chatting to the listeners and the newbies and the long-established veterans. So yeah, it's great to be back. Thank you.
I am.
Cool.
I was genuinely looking up how much forests were to buy, just with the intention of just having enough land, just enough land that you could play a game of airsoft.
Just to turn around in.
2 people. Yeah, just to turn around in. Build a tiny little fort. But unfortunately, we're still talking about 70 grand. I was like, oh, can't afford that.
There's a lot around my way, woodland for sale and that, but it's just the prices of it. Some of it's not too bad, but like you say, you need the acreage, don't you, to sort of warrant holding the game there if you could. So
yeah.
a nice dream to have.
Yeah, and you sort of think as well, even like an acre's not a lot, is it? Let's be honest, not enough really. So
no.
So yeah, it's going to go into the hundreds of thousands, unfortunately, unless you got a nice farmer that will lend it to you for X amount of pound notes. But it's everything else that comes with it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Or a box of Corona beer. Corona's cheap at the moment. Simon's looked into buying forest too. So yeah, 30, 40. It's quite a lot. Land is very expensive. I mean, I don't know what I expected.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm just my childish viewpoint on the life and stuff, just expecting to, just buy a bit of land for a tenner. That'd be fine.
Sweet.
Yeah, so this week's episode, guys, and gals, we are basically doing a bit of a Q&A. We're going to have a recap of sort of last year, of bits and pieces. We're going to talk about bags again, because we love talking about bags. And yeah, we're going to have a bit of a general Q&A. So if anyone's got any questions about anything, throw them in the chat and we can sort of pick up on those as we run through. And we also want to talk about, sorry, I've had some exciting news. I'm having a baby. Yeah, so I'm going to be a tactical dad. So yeah, that's why Paul's not here this week, because we had to have a chat.
Didn't want it to be awkward.
He's on the multi-suit.
No, congratulations.
That's pretty cool.
Really great news.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So that's pretty cool. But we also want to talk about what we want to do in the upcoming year. So 2021, we've got a whole 52 potential episodes, 51 ignoring this one, to fill. So if you want guests, if you want to talk about certain things, if you want to, I don't know, if we can go outside with this, that'd be quite cool. If we could try and actually get to some events and stuff. So if you've got any ideas, just throw them in the chat.
Absolutely.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
The old media's getting a bit thin on the ground now.
So going back to 2020, which is an unmitigated disaster in whatever the sense. I got my MK46 in January last year, and it's not even been used. It's gathered dust, and I can then name probably another 15, 20 things that not had them either. Yeah, absolutely crazy, isn't it? Really.
Mm-hmm.
So Rage of Fire was talking about Mr. Lardy-Dar and Mr. Lardy-D, which is Lance and Paul doing their willy waving with their thermal and the green eyes. So first question for you, Lance, then is what thermal scope do you use?
My one is ex-Army Viper 2 thermal scope, which I managed to pick up at the War and Peace Revival, funny enough, about 2 years ago. And it's a wicked bit of kit. It's an oldish bit of kit, but the clarity on it's unbelievable. So mine's the Viper 2. I'm not sure actually who the company are. I will look it up and I'll pop you a link, Rage, so you can look up yourself. But yeah, I've got the Viper 2, and I think it's spelled VIPIR, Viper 2 thermal imaging scope or weapon-mounted scope system.
I see what they did there.
Who's that?
No, with the IR.
Yeah, that's what I run.
Fair enough. And Rage, what I run, so I run very similar to Paul. So I've got a Pulsar Trail. It's the LRF, so it's got the rangefinder built in, and it's the XQ50 model. So I've been running thermal now for 5 years. Took a bit of a punt on it. Again, it was Pulsar. Again, I bought a Pulsar. Originally, I bought a Pulsar XD38, which I saw a review on another YouTube channel. I used to sort of use very basic night vision back then, and saw it, and I thought, this is going to be a huge game changer. So, made a bit of an investment. It wasn't cheap 5 years ago, and it's not cheap today. And I got myself the XD38 by Pulsar. But I had a little bit of a touch, so I ordered the XD38. But what they actually sent me was the XD50, was the next model up, which was a bit of a touch. So it just means that basically you had a bigger field of view, and obviously a bigger viewing screen as well, which was great. But again, like I say, I was using that since 2015. Unbelievable quality, aiming reticle, different sort of color spectrums, etc. as well. And I must admit, and then I had an opportunity where someone approached me to say, would I be interested to sell it? And this was last year, and I thought, oh yeah, absolutely. I wasn't too sure what my airsoft future was looking like, so sort of took money, but then sort of I was also thinking, this isn't my airsoft isn't over, and one of the thermals is one of the things I love, but there was a few things that I wanted differently about the thermal, so I started to do some research back into Pulsar because I really like the brand, and I come across what I've got now, which is the Trail LRF. So you've got a rangefinder which is built in, which is massively handy, but the other thing is what you can also do is you can stream, so I can actually stream live from my scope to the team. So for instance, if we've got two of the guys with an iPad or something, one sitting back on fob, one within range, I can actually stream real time. So what I'm seeing, let's say I'm out on point, and I can stream back to the team to see what we're seeing. So a real sort of handy, nice, sort of evolution in the technology, which happened to me that I had the money at the right time. Black Friday 2020, Black Friday 2019, got myself a really, really good deal, and sort of went from there really. So that was it for me. But yeah, thermal, it's fucking expensive, but it's a very, very game changing, nice to have, if that's where you want to invest your money.
Just picking up on Dan's comment there. I told that story on the Christmas show, I think, wasn't it? Bloody thermal, yeah, that was fun. That was good. That was funny. I'll never forget that.
And so again, probably back to Rage. So nods being a bit pointless. So I suppose it's a tale of two halves. So in the last couple of years, I've had thermal scope, and I also had a set of binocular nods, and they both have their advantages and properties. if I only had the money for one, for me, it would always be the thermal. And I think I pretty much tell everyone the same story. And I'm sure, Lance, you know this, that, thermal, whilst it's mounted to your scope, you've got your aiming reticle, and you can't hide from it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And the range detection is insane, absolutely insane.
The thing is, well, you can use it during the day as well, Mike, can't you?
And that's it. Yeah,
by
absolutely.
darkness.
Yeah, this is it. And the range detection's mental, and I think you have to get used to it. But we can certainly get around a fairly sizable site using a thermal scope only. But equally, it has its disadvantages when you're trying to do that. So green eyes, like Lance, I've got a scope. I'm sorry, a monocular. And why did I buy a monocular when I've also got a thermal scope? Not an arrogant cock, so I'm not going to say because I can. But for me, it was wanting to get around, sites at pace. And I know it's more. I wouldn't say it's more like that. It's more like, here's a what do you call it? Use them in the garden. Well, here's a wheelbarrow. Here's a load of money. Here's some gasoline, and here's a match, because your fucking money just goes up in flames. But anyway, but for me, the advantage of green eyes is you can get around so quick. So quick, so the idea being, you get around with a thermal, you're having to do that all the time, and because you get the backlight through through your scope, the minute you drop it, your eyesight's shot.
It can be it's quite disorientating as well.
Absolutely, if anything, if the longer you go using a thermal scope at night, the blinder you get. And I've become sort of having to sort of rely on my team to get me around at some point, because the thermals just shot my eyes to shit. So for me is what that's why I went for a nod. So just to get myself around at absolute pace. The green eyes. Okay, I've got a Gem 3, so I've got a Gem 3. Very, very good scope, and the clarity is amazing. The light, even under dense canopy, you name it, it's fantastic. But you just cannot beat thermal for that, detection. So the idea being, get around at pace with a nod, but then you're into a bit of a wide clearing, right? Okay, quick look through the scope. Okay,
essentially it's just like Predator mode, isn't it? You just go,
yeah.
Turn around.
I mean, it's where are we? When you say you can't hide from it, is it not a case of playing against it, that you use cover as you would during the day? Again, you have to be very, very clever with your cover. So let's say you hide behind a pile of wood. If you've got any expansion gaps, you're fucked. I think Dan wants to mention that, yes, you can't see through windows, but let's say there's a caravan at a particular site of ours, that's got windows in it, but then equally, if it's got a small crack or gap, your heat signature just sticks out like an absolute sore thumb. Again, I know, Lance, you've done some sort of recording through yours, and I'll try and do it through mine as well. You see people coming up with, certain people saying, I've just released a suit which will get past thermal. Absolute crap, and so for me, like I said, that's why I go.
I'm working on something at the moment, which is so on the basis of that you can't see through the caravan windows. I'm working on the theory that those interlocking police riot shields.
Yeah.
I reckon if you gilly up the front of one of those and get a few of them sort of interconnected, you can do the whole kind of turtle Roman formation, moving up.
And it will probably do an exceptionally good job. But again, it has to be just sealed all the way around. You always have to be going around in some sort of whatever.
This would only work.
This
only works like a static target that you're trying to approach. It wouldn't work if people are moving.
And being, a little bit of a crass individual that I am, we was out one night at Airsoft, and I sort of said to someone, said, I need to have a piss, hold on a minute. I said, yeah, no problems. I said, do you mind if I have a quick look through the scope to see what's happening? and sure enough, you could see the jet stream, but B, you can see the steam. So if people, I'm a very, very sweaty individual, so if I'm standing there and, I'm below, some sort of object where no one can see me, the steam's going to come off my head. And again, I took some footage, which I know you guys have seen, of my local area, and what you can actually see is steam coming out of a vent. So if there's steam coming off of someone's head or someone's breath, honestly, thermal is an interesting one. And if you get an opportunity to test one, borrow one, have a look through one at night. You know, and if you're committed to night games, then it's going to be a very, very good investment. You know, and you know, not everyone's, you know, got a few grand to drop on a hobby. You know, I completely appreciate that. But you know, if you are really sort of geared to doing night games, etc., then you know, I just look at it as a long-term investment that, you know, I see myself doing airsoft for the next few years. So why the hell not? And that was back in 2015. So, and that was Sean Glass. That was Sean Glass's urine and steam that was coming off of it. So, of course it was Sean. It's never going to be anyone else.
Yeah, why wouldn't it have been Sean?
But I think, yeah, as Rage File says, you know, is your theory a mobile fish tank? And that's it. You're absolutely right. Yeah. It has to be sealed, you know, and the minute, you know, you sort of walking around with your fish tank and you lift it to walk, your feet are going to be given away.
That's it, yeah.
It's real. It is very, 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 it is very, very clever stuff.
Is that James C? Prizes have been sent, James. Yes, absolutely, mate. That's a waylaid on my part there, so I do apologise, but they were sent a couple of days back, so you should be receiving them tomorrow or the next day. First class recorded delivery, so they should be well under the way to you, gentlemen. So my apologies for that. That's me being a lazy arse and not getting to post office in time for Christmas shutdown. So my bad. But they're on the way.
Fair,
not panic.
Even with that, the Royal Mail has been struggling anyway. So
yeah. So but rest assured they have been sent, and I've got the receipt in my wallet somewhere. If anyone requires proof, they're on their way.
Gaz got his the other day.
Oh, there you go then. Fantastic.
Gaz, I can't remember. I think you were one with the goodie bag. Have you tried the swish? I'd be interested to let if you tried that. Oh. That's the little powder that you pour in your tongue. Have you tried yours, Lance? Because I left you with that.
Not yet. No, I was unsure whether to try it.
Oh well, there you go. That's something you could try now.
I might try. Yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to wake up naked in the woods again on my own.
Gaz also got a free tracer BB as well.
What, a single BB? Let launch you up.
I got a photo from him in the week, actually.
Okay,
that's quite funny.
Good stuff.
There we go. Oh, good. So, yeah, prizes have been arriving. Fantastic.
Yeah. Just clarify. No, I wasn't, Gaz. I'm just interested for people that have had the Swish packet, just because everyone ripped the crap out of me when we were talking about it. I just want people to try them and see what they think. So by
giving by the opening conversation and context, you know, are we safe to say that, you know, the viewers, listeners, audience, etc., will want to see an episode which is about thermal and night vision? Would that be safe?
I think that's pretty much on the cards, isn't it?
I reckon, yeah. It'd be good to do a live one out in the field somewhere if we can. If lockdown rules are relaxed and if they are possible to meet more than two people in the fucking tier 36.5, which is you're not allowed to look at each other. We can stand back to back. I don't know what fuck knows what the rules are, but yeah, it'd be nice to be able to get out and do 24 hours out in some private woodland or something if we were able to do that in line with all the rules and that at the minute. That'd be good. Take the off thermal and the green eyes out.
I think obviously, you know, what
I'll bring some carrots.
Some carrots, run around naked for a bit.
To be fair, Mike, you know, we always need a target, you know, sort of walking
well, to be fair,
around.
actually, I have some very basic night vision, which is in the form of my dad's old VCR camcorder. Genuinely, I appreciate it's not proper tactical or anything like that, but I went and bought a new power system for it so I can actually charge the thing, because that was a problem at one point. But I've got it off of him purely on the basis that if we're ever in a stockade or like, you know, some sort of sanger or something like that, I can at least pop the thing over the top and then I've got a rough chance of like some basic night vision. Well, I figured that if anyone's got like an IR torch or anything like that, it's gonna, you know, you're gonna be able to pick that up. So I thought, you know, having a separate big IR torch off to the right of you, sort of helping to illuminate, and then you could just pop the little camcorder up and you could have a look if you wanted to. That was the idea. So I'll bring that.
Yeah, it would be nice to get out though. I mean, like I said, I did a bit of fishing between Christmas and New Year, so luckily I was able, before obviously the major lockdown hit, Dan, and was able to try a bit of the cold weather kit, the Arctic bag, some of the base layers and that, and obviously testing it, like I was saying to you guys before we come online, sort of thing, was fishing. You're obviously sitting around a lot more than what you would be at a MilSim, so it was actually sort of extreme sort of testing in a sense that you're sitting there reliant on your base layers and that too, not the fact you're going to be moving around in the field wearing a plate carrier set on the other. So the base layers worked out great, nice and warm. I did have my crew suit, my top deck crew suit with me, which is like a all-in-one romper suit, but it's, you know, it's crazy warm. And obviously the Arctic bag with the liner and the V cover over the top of it as well. And yeah, just nice and snug. It got down to about minus, and that's on a reservoir with no cover, so you had the wind whipping across you as well. But it was good. It was all good. It's all ex-Army issue kit. Couple of the base layers were new, merino base layers and that from Decathlon. But yeah, well happy with some of that stuff. So it was nice to get out, just nice to get out on some canvas for 24 hours and, you know, cook all in the bag meal. It felt like I was away for a little bit, which is good.
That's it. Like I say, decent shakedown for some of the kit, isn't it? So
definitely, mate.
James has got a good
yeah.
idea. We could do a thermal and nods episode, and then we could do an anti-thermal and nods episode. So we'll kind of do one episode where we show all the thermal and nods, and then another episode where we try and defeat it. We could all go away for like 5-10 minutes and try and come up with some sort of crafted method.
No, definitely. And I think, like I say, look, a couple of people have, you know, already said that, you know, Perspex, for instance, you know, great big Perspex, can't see through it. Glass, you can't see through it, you know. And to be fair, like I say, green eyes is good to a degree, but you know, you can evade night vision very, very easily. But yeah, you know, I think there's, let's get out, you know, when we can, you know, and you know, as we said, you know, like jokingly, Mike, but obviously, you know, we all need, you know, something to aim at, you know, not without a gun, but you know, look, can we see Mike, can we not, and vice versa. You know, you was currently.
This is it, and again, you know, you can have, at the end of the day,
an hour-long episode of me going, ow.
Green eyes and that.
Ow.
It's all, you've only got to get a bad bit of weather, and that low level fog or mist has got to drop, and that will drop that all night vision will just drop out. You'd be just put it back in the bag, because it's just that mist, and that will just completely destroy it. That low level, especially that Falklands one, Mike, the first one in November. And I had my kite sight, my MVD kite sight, and literally you had little pockets where you could just make out stuff, and then it was just gone. It was just like, this is no point using it. You know, so you're weather dependent and that, but obviously then you come back to thermal and it's just like, there he is. Turn the thermal on.
But even then, you know, sort of you think about, you know, we've spoken about what you can do with thermal. You know, you can get around and, you know, traverse, you know, the terrain, but, you know, put in that freezing fog and you lose all of your background on thermal. Yes, you're still going to see, you know, a heat signature for target ID. But,
exactly,
you know, but you lose your background and your ability to get around with a thermal.
You won't see the 19 trees between you and him.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. See, it's null and void. But I think, you know, as James has said, that would be really, really good. You know, there's no reason why between, you know, all of us, we can't get out and try that. You know, as I said, for the positives of why to use night detection devices, and then B, what do you do if you rock up to an event and every other bugger's got one and you haven't? So how do you mitigate that? So no, it's a really, really good idea for content. So James, that's a superb suggestion, mate.
So, slight change topic of conversation. Did anyone see that UCAC got taken down off of Facebook this week?
I did, but aren't they back up already?
I saw something.
Not that I've seen. I was just searching for them now. I couldn't find them.
I must admit, you know,
haven't they got quite a few different?
Yeah, there's like a 2.0
Mark 1, 2. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what got on there.
Yeah, no, they're still down,
coming down then, Mike.
I think, from what I gather, it's they've been flagged as selling airsoft or selling guns. So classic, and it's something that we've obviously fallen foul on. I think it was like episode 4 where we started playing around with some guns on. I say guns, airsoft rifles on the old stream. we got kicked off because apparently that violates YouTube's terms and conditions. So I have a feeling that there's now.
Who knew?
I think so. Oh, hang on. Dan's just asked, wrong question. Sorry. Ray just asked, who's UCAC? So UCAC is the United Kingdom Airsoft Community. And it's just a Facebook group. I think I had about 30,000 members on there. There's now, there was always a UCAC 2.0 who are now voting to change their name to UCAC 1.0. And I think, as Gaz just said, Dirty Rumours, there's now a 3.0 set up. So there seems to be like varying groups and like splinter groups that get set up. But it's just a good example of obviously a Facebook group having been taken down, sort of narrowing the community. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Facebook pages, I don't know what you guys think. The Facebook pages tend to be full of people just shouting at other people anyway.
Stop.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's, I always think, well, as to see if what's going on. Am I missing anything? And then literally, you go into it, and about 30 seconds later, you just think, oh, well, I'm not going to be too candid, but it's not for me. And you just think, it appeals to some people. It's not. There's a particular site that's got a forum, and I must admit I go on that quite a lot, because it's pretty informative, and actually, it's because it's not governed by Zuckerberg or anyone like that. You can buy and sell riffs on it, and it's quite good for that. But outside of that, the whole sort of Facebook pages, just don't really appeal to me, to be honest with you. But yeah, I did notice that someone said it's UCAC's down, but then 10 minutes later it's back up again.
Apparently, Wayne, with Facebook sites for Airsoft, he only goes with fan sites like the SAA group.
Yeah,
they are quite useful, to be fair. I know I'm sort of members of a few groups for the different weapons and things that we run, them sort of bits and pieces, which is quite useful.
Yeah, and I think I echo what Wayne's saying there. So there's a lot of
definitely, especially if you do upgrades and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think particular models or brands, I think it's the more specialized and focused seems to be the better pages, whereas sometimes the community pages, like I say, they're for some people and not for others, but definitely not for me.
Apparently, James says it's splintered with admins trying to claim they're the OG UCAC, probably most toxic in Air Force, even more than KM. Yeah, we're not going to particularly focus on things like that, because otherwise we just start getting embroiled ourselves in these
do you? God, that's some respect for him, Mr. C. God damn it.
Did anybody get anything
remove
exciting
him,
for
quick,
Christmas?
Remove him.
So let's put that question back to you, because I think it's me and Lance. So Mike, did you get anything exciting for Christmas outside of a pregnant
I got my new patch. I did actually. So with the Warrior sale on UK Tactical, bought myself a new dump pouch. This thing rolls up, which is quite nice. So scroll it up there. I don't generally tend to run one anymore. I ran one about 4 years ago. And then I sort of stopped for a while because I found it kept getting caught on stuff. But I find them useful just to put things in when it doesn't have to be magazines necessarily. It's just you're running around. You're like, I don't know where to put my gloves. Just put it in the dump pouch.
Just to dump stuff.
I don't know what you guys, whether you guys run them, do you?
I do, yeah. I've got a dump pouch, yep. Just a British.
I have in the past, but I'm not now.
It's a really small one. It folds up so small that.
I would back in 2 seconds, guys.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I also got some of these on the. Got a pair of these on the recommendation of Mr.
Oh, you did get some.
Lance. Yeah, I got these. So I haven't actually fitted them yet. Obviously, they're still.
I'll tell you one thing as well, Mike. Is with the pull cord bit.
Yep.
Is I swapped that out for I can't remember who told me now. I'm not going to credit for it, but there's someone messaged me on Instagram about it, and he swapped out the paracord pull tab type bits for smoke grenade rings or the large heavy duty key ring loops. And he found them when using gloves easier to grab hold of and to release. I haven't any problems with them, but I've swapped mine out for some chunkier paracord clips. But they're wicked, mate. Why I didn't buy one of them 5 years? If anyone's got a plate carrier who hasn't got any of them, I'll get them now because that's the best.
Yeah, so for people who don't know,
screaming when you undo the Velcro.
Yeah, they replaced the Velcro aspect of the sort of the Warrior DCS and sort of things like that. So anything that you've got like a plate carrier where you'll have to pick up the front to rip it off the Velcro. This basically just replaces it with clip. Though I've always kind of been hesitant with Velcro because obviously Velcro over time does degrade. You start losing the little sort of loop bit of it. It sort of starts to pull out and stuff. So yeah, I was quite keen to use this. But yeah, so that was new. I also got a Warrior gun belt as well in OD.
Oh, tidy.
which is quite nice. Again, haven't done anything with any of these things yet. So, on the basis that we haven't had any games to play.
Sorry to interrupt.
Where'd you get this stuff?
Something very exciting has just happened. So apologies, I had to just jump off because someone was at the door and there was no one to answer it. So we're talking about, you know, things that everyone's got for Christmas. Something's just turned up I've been waiting for. So I'll let you go. I'm waving a Mark 5 at the moment.
No, you do it, right. You go.
I'll let you guys talk, and I'm just going to set something up in the background and I'll be able to talk about it. I'm very excited about it.
Ray's just asked Mike about the I just said that. I literally just said that.
Yeah, Rage. I can put you in on that. These are basically off eBay. They are the Krydex, like plate. I can't remember the plate carrier release. Quick release. These are about £25. Were they, Lance? Hello.
I don't know. You carry on. You know. You carry on talking, chat away. You know. I said it, and then you went, "Hey, there's from Ranger File."
Yeah, I know. Well, that's fine.
Just
he said it anyway.
I don't know, Mike.
I didn't hear it because there was the exciting news from Mike. So I think there's about 25 quid on there. The Krydex do a load of bits and pieces that are quite useful. So the one of the previous episodes where we were talking about the radio antenna relocation. It's not really a pouch. It's kind of like a little mounting thing for molly
for the
and
whip.
stuff.
It's like a retainer for the whip antenna, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're quite useful. They've got a few bits and pieces on there. So. Yeah, Krydex. That's KR.
Yeah, it's actually good stuff. I mean, I was a bit dubious about whether to go for it or not. I looked at, looked into them in detail. On their shop on eBay, and looked through all their kit, and sort of studied the photographs that they've put up of the bits and bobs that they do. And must admit, it was from the quality of the pictures and that, and what it looked like. I was really impressed with it. And then obviously, I thought, I'll take the plunge. At the end of the day, if it's not what you want, you can always send it back. And these are the cummerbund adapters turned up for the quick release for the plate carrier, and I must admit, the quality of them and the feel of them and the stitch quality and that of how they've been put together, I couldn't fault it at all. I thought it's fantastic, great bit of kit. Really feels rugged, strong. When you tug it to open it up and that, it just clicks back in nicely. It's a good solid click as well. It's in there when you do the side pouch up and that. It's spot on. Really good bit of kit.
So the two parts of it, Rage, are. This bit basically sits under a normal belt. Yeah, if you want to grab yours, that'll be easier.
Hang on it. Give me a sec.
This bit basically sits under, so where you lift the flap off the front, that sits under there and then gives you your quick release grips there the whole time. And then this part mounts on the cummerbund itself. So you fold back the Velcro on that into itself, and then there's like a little mounting clip that holds that tight, so you don't have to necessarily take the whole thing apart. And then that obviously just mollies in, so works quite well. I've not actually set mine up yet, so
what we've got. I don't know if you can see that.
I feel like this is like Christmas show and tell.
Yay! Right, so I move my mic out of the way, so it might be a bit quiet. But so there's the clip fitted there. If I what's that about? So under there,
that's the noise that you don't have to have.
That's the noise that you don't want anymore. So basically, you'll get this panel here with one side of the clip, like the male, if you like, side of the clip, and then the female part of it goes on the other side of your cummerbund that's already on your plate carrier. So that's me angle a pouch over the top there, obviously the front bit. And all you essentially do then is, rather than having to rip that open, is it comes with a little pull cord bit there. I've added this on because it's a bit bigger to grab hold of with gloves on. You pull that, and that just slides open, and that's literally how you put your plate carrier on. I only ever open up the right hand side, so the other side, obviously, it's got it on there as well if I need to, but put it back on, literally slides up, and that's it. It's all clicked into place. So when you want to take it off, just pull that out, slide it, put it back on, and that's it. And that comes on both sides of the so there. You see the setup there. And the setup there. And obviously with the DCS, what I've done there, if anyone else has got a DCS plate carrier, is if I can turn this up that way, I've just folded back the wings that would normally Velcro under the front of your plate carrier. I've just folded them back, and there's retention straps which come with the new ones, which holds it out of the way, and that's not been a problem at all. So yeah, wicked bit of kit, guys. About 25 quid for them, and they're just like so simple. There you go, it's off. no more tactical screaming when you're undoing your hook and loop. That we used to have to do.
That's an interesting point though, actually, because they do go in. I've just checked it. They go in either direction. So on the basis, if you only ever take your plate carrier off from one side, you could team up with a buddy, just buy one pair of these, and then
yeah, absolutely.
one of you can have one of you can have the other. It's a bit of a cost-saving tip. So Gaz just asked, would this work with an older Viper spec ops carrier? Yeah, basically anything that's got a Velcro front on it that you pull up. So I mean, I've had plate carriers in the past that are like clips, sort of on the side rather than a Velcro system. So this just both replaces the Velcro.
Yeah, because what you've got, Gaz, is essentially much like the old Osprey Mark IVs with a T-bar for the cummerbund. So the side that goes on the, you see there, so you basically get two T-bars, which you put through the two T-bars there. So you've got a section of material which comes off there, and a section down there, and you'll have the two T-bars which will run obviously down through them two sets of straps there. So there's no Velcro in essentially on this part of the kit. All the Velcro in sort of under there. So it should, in theory, it should work with any plate carrier. It's got Velcro down the front and molly to the sides, a cummerbund waistband. That should work with it. By no worries at all. I should be fine on that.
The only other thing I generally bought was those little torches that Paul had on the last episode. I haven't got them in front of me, unfortunately. You know, the little square ones.
Nightcore ones.
I looked at them. They're out of stock. I was going to get some. Out of stock.
Yeah, I probably
the
bought.
Jan, I think.
I'll
tell you what, greedy bastard.
Typical, me and Paul.
We bought out of Amazon all their PTT retainers. We bought them out of stock.
Those little lights, by the way, where they're waterproof, you can put them in your mouth quite easily. Genuinely nearly swallowed one, just so you're aware. They're that small.
Food tracker.
Yeah, I was because we had a Zoom call with a family. We were doing like a Christmas quiz, so I thought, just playing around with it. I put it in my mouth, and then just while on the Zoom call, opened my mouth, revealing this really bright light. I thought it was quite funny. Kept doing that throughout the Zoom call because I'm super cool, and nearly swallowed one. So they are that small. They're great little bits of kit. There you go.
Just don't swallow them.
It's your show already, Mike.
Almost. So it quite interestingly, I'm just fanning around with something in the background, and I'll show it in a second. And it involves putting a Mark V into it. And this is what's just happened to the Mark V.
I didn't think it was a Domino's turned up, but
so thankfully nothing's gone boom. So yes, so very excitingly, or not particularly excitingly. So obviously I changed over to Scar H earlier in the year, and obviously one of the.
Do you want a big screen, Mike?
Yeah, you can do if you want. Thank you. And obviously one of the big things with the Scar H is that the magazines are a bit bigger, so it made pretty much anything I had in my loadout plate carrier a bit redundant, to be fair. So I was then starting to fanny around. I got like the Warrior Assault 7.62 mags, but it has the bungees, and I find the bungees get in the way when you're sort of shouldering your weapon. So after speaking to basically Lance and Paul about obviously that particular supplier, who I won't not plugging anyone, but obviously that particular brand and company, I reached out to them to say, look, here's a bit of a design of something I want to do. I want very much in the style of the Warrior triple elasticated 5.56, but to have a 7.62. I want across the front of it just some sort of loops so I can hold some Mark 5s into it. So literally, as we was talking in the doorbell rung, this bad boy turned up. So again, obviously it's compatible with pretty much any sort of rig, but obviously it's designed to work with the Warrior Recon plate carrier, and again clips into the existing clips that are already in place. I'll put my hand over the company's logo, but obviously then you've got the back Velcro, and then you've got the 7.62s. So obviously the Scarra Mags will then sit in there, which is really quite nice. And then you have it's got room for 4 Mark 5s across the front. Obviously I've done 3, which was really, really simple. Then I decided to snap a Mark 5 in half, and I've got all over the floor, shorts. My hands look like I've been down a coal mine, but you couldn't make this up on live TV, could you? So I've got one of those in multicam, because that's obviously one of my sort of features, and I've got one which is in OD as well. So look, I haven't put the mags in yet, but it looks and feels, you know, like you're buying something directly from Warrior Assault Systems. The guy that does the work uses the exact same colours. So yeah, I'm really pleased that they have just.
It's quality kit, isn't it? I mean, the work he does is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spot on.
So
feel free to show the label and that if it's good. Don't have to hide it. It's Mission Tailors, isn't it?
Yeah,
Mission Tailors, mate. Yeah. Got my comms pouch as well there. Don't know if you know, I've got a new comms pouch. Just before I show it off again.
So yeah,
I don't know if I just haven't got enough imagination that I need to come up with something that this guy can make me. Just Mission Tailors. I don't know if you're watching this, but if you've got any ideas for quirky stuff, then let's just have a chat.
Something for Mike.
It's just one of those, you can say, and that's it, isn't it? You know, you sort of, you know, I've been looking for. I really like the, you know, the low profile of the triple elasticated pouch. You know, they're very tight. They hold your magazines in there. It was just such a pisser that, you know, you couldn't get ones for the 7.62. So I then went down the whole like sort of lane of, well, maybe I'll get the AK ones, then take off the bungees and put a Kydex insert in it. And I've done it. And then all of a sudden the pouch has sort of gone from that sort of, you know, thick to sort of that. And I'm like, it's fucking sticking out too much now. It's a pain in the arse. So yeah, I'm really glad I reached out to this guy, and, you know, the price I paid for one of them, it was, well, obviously without the Mark 5s, but it's 30 quid. And if you go and get yourself a triple elasticated pouch from UK Tactical Warrior Assault Systems anyway, I think it's 30 quid, 35 quid or something. So, you know, like I say, this guy, you know, makes it himself, you know, uses what I can see as the same material as what Warrior do, and it's customized to exactly how you want it. So really sort of pleased with that, to be fair. And I think obviously time has been spot on.
It's I reckon you could get 12 blue ribbons in the front of that, couldn't you?
You could get plenty of blue ribbons in there, mate. You could either get plenty down there, and I reckon you could probably slide, you know, that you think you can. You get 12 blue ribbons on there. Definitely.
Ribbons, yeah. Or them little love heart sweets with "Kiss Me Quick" and all that business.
Mate, you get plenty of those in there,
all
mate.
That on there. Oh yeah. Oh, he's just teasing me now, Mr. Martin. Oh, going all out.
Yeah, there you go. So I think as I was alluding to earlier, you know, I've had sort of do you need inserts for the mags? No, I mean, it's elasticated. So the idea being is that it will go in there quite nicely, and it holds it nice and tight. So, you know, you have to give it some gusto to pull it out. They're not going to slide out, which was my biggest fear of the other ones that I had when I removed the bungees to then get the Kydex inserts, but make it a bit bulkier. So no, I think what I'll do is once we're done, I'll get the magazines in there, clean myself up, and obviously take a photo and put it on the page, really. So yeah, but no, really pleased with those. That's great.
No, looks smart, mate. No, wicked.
I think obviously other bits, you know, I have had a fairly productive Christmas as always. So I've again, I think after we spoke about, you know, base layers, coats, winter wear, etc., I've always been sorted for my OD RAL 7013 loadout, which is like the grey green. But obviously it's the multicam I've been sort of meaning to finish, really, and my go-to brand, you know, I'm a bit of a brand snob, but, you know, I love Claw Gear, and Claw Gear pretty much have discontinued all of their multicam bits, which is a real shame, barring the trousers and you know, the tops. They don't do any coats anymore. So I must admit, I've been looking at for a little while. I've been looking at UF Pro. A couple of people I know wear it. It's not cheap. It's not quite precision expensive, but it's, you know, it's not cheap. But sort of looking at it, you know, sort of looking up on all the reviews, you know, seeing who they supply, and they supply a lot of, you know, forces, you know, military, you know, sort of users out there. And I thought, well, fuck it, well, you know, let's just take a bit of a punt on it. And I bought, as I do, 3 jackets. So I've got one which is a like soft shell, which is, you know, suitable for summer if you just need a bit of an extra layer on top. I've gone for one of their sort of their extreme winter jackets, and again, which is absolutely phenomenal. The quality, detail, you know, everything that they've done in regards to the attention. And then, you know, really sort of thinking back to one of the things that I don't have is a truly waterproof jacket. So they've got one of their particular models of coats, you know, it's a fully truly waterproof one, so went for that one as well. And sort of all 3 turned up in the last week, and I got to say they are really nice, you know. And, you know, thankfully you do get what you pay for in this instance. But, you know, it's yeah, really nice. So I'm glad I did take a bit of a punt on UF Pro. It's a long-term investment, hence why I justify a price tag like they are. But yeah, so they've turned up, which has been good. So I've sort of almost finished all of my multicam setup now, which is great. A little bit of refinement. Got a couple of suppressors. One suppressor from MP7, and pretty much the same suppressor for my MP5, and my MP5 is just back at a particular dealership or company, just having a few upgrades done on it as well. So yeah, it's been it's been an expensive December, but it's we all work hard, don't we? So if you can't play hard, if you don't work hard, then life isn't worth living, really, is it?
Definitely,
so yeah,
absolutely.
Like you went, oh yeah, I've never had a UF Pro stuff, so I thought I'd take a punt. I bought 3.
Yeah.
Just
yeah. To see, a lot of people, talk about, OCD, and that is that's the obsessive coming out. That I don't know about you guys, but you have an idea in the back of your mind and you start reading up on it, and then the old ticker goes,
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, if I'm buying one, I've got to pay for shipping, so fuck it up, it's like, then I did originally buy 2, but then I was like, I wanted this other one, but they was releasing their Gen 2 version. I was like, oh fuck it, stick me down for it, and then it's come through. So yeah,
lovely.
Yeah,
and like,
really,
so
really
you do a lot of outdoorsy stuff anyhow, Mr. Mind, don't you? You're out and about walking this, that, and the other, so it's not like you can just only use it specifically for doing your MilSim and that. It's a winter coat at the end of the day.
And I've been wearing that the middle jacket, so the one it's water repellent, fully windproof, but designed for below freezing temperatures. I've been doing my walks for the last few nights, where it's been cold. It has been cold, so I've got the beanie hat right down over my ears, just covering me to my eyebrows, the coat's up, walking around like a bit of a deviant at night, but last night, for instance, literally I had a bit of a sweat going on, just lifted up my hat and I was like, Jesus Christ, it's cold. So I sweat down again. So I suppose that for me shows, how warm I was being kept. Yes, I was walking at pace, doing 7.5 kilometers last night, but it kept me really, really warm. So I'm thinking, yeah, like you say, it's great that it gets dual purpose, but the purpose which I bought it for should, fingers crossed, suit me really well once all this silliness of COVID's disappeared and we can get back to a bit of normality.
Oh, definitely, mate. Yeah, they can't come soon enough.
Are they as good as Helicon? I really can't tell you because I've never really worn any Helicon gear. What I can say is I've got the free equivalents by Claw Gear. So I've got the Claw Gear clear, sort of very, very light soft shell, the Claw Gear, it's like a medium soft shell, and then I've got like the Claw Gear hard shell, and I would say personally I think UF Pro is better than Claw Gear, and equally I would say that the fitment's probably better. So for me, from a closed size, I'm small. If I put Claw Gear small on, it's still pretty sizable, but the UF Pro gear, from a small, fits me absolutely perfect. What I would say for the 2 smaller garments I bought, they're designed to be tight, so the arms are absolutely fine, but the body is very, very hugging because they're designed to work under a plate carrier. And the middle one, the more Arctic one, again, it's got padding sort of all over where you would wear a plate carrier as well, so it gives you that bit of extra protection. And again, I'll do a bit of a video on it at some point and show you it's got some very, very clever things. Just they've thought about stuff. They've clearly thought about this, not just a coat. They've thought about a bit more. So again,
like as if wearing it and how you're going to use it and what you're going to be using.
And it's almost what you're wearing it with. And I think the other great thing is that I'm by nature a short arse and quite small, so I put that jacket on and I'm sort of walking around like that. So like walking up down the street, so like, fucking look at the size of his shoulders. Like a beast.
Bowling with your invisible carpets under your arm.
I must admit, Rage, I mean, I've definitely looked at again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the Helicon stuff, and it seems really, really nice gear, to be fair. I think prior to me sort of dipping my toe into multicam, I looked at Helicon, but they didn't have what I needed, so I then went on to Claw Gear, which I've used before. So yeah, I wouldn't say your statement's controversial. Helicon Tex is a very, very good gear, to be fair. So, but I think it just what suits you really. So, but Helicon, Claw Gear, UF Pro, all exceptionally good brands, as are a hell of a lot of unbranded stuff out there as well. It's just what suits the individual.
Yeah,
There's a good question from Dan just coming. Have you guys seen these flashing suppressors? So they're the ones that they do a tracer. Yeah, it's like a tracer unit, and then it also has a light that flashes as well.
Yeah, I've seen them. The Spitfire loud noise hog or something it's called. I think Mr. Kettles has got one.
I've seen them, and I think it's very niche, isn't it? It does. I suppose is it authentic? It gives a bit of authenticity, but yeah, it's not something.
It's very anti-stealthy, isn't it? Having said that,
I mean, the videos I've seen, don't get me wrong, it does look cool. They do look, especially with the gas blowback, when you get that exhaust gas coming out the end of the muzzle, it looks absolutely wicked. I mean, I think I'd probably surrender the stealthiness for that, just cut around the corner, boom, 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 boom. I'll just be like, yeah, wicked.
I mean, kudos who's bought them out, because they're going to sell. They're going to appeal to a lot of people, and they're going to sell. So absolutely.
I bought one to put on my LMG because I thought, if you're at the top of a tower or whatever like that, it's going to look pretty cool.
Good play.
But no, you can see it's definitely going to be one of those. It's one of those products of 2020/2021 that is going to appeal to the masses. But personally, it's not for me. The state of my fucking hands. You can't appreciate how literally looks like I've been up a chimney.
Don't light anything or use matches or anything for a while.
No.
Proper flash
live TV. Don't work with kids, animals, or Mark Fives.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, blimey. Question from Wayne. What's the waterproofing fluid you guys use? I've forgotten.
Fabsil Gold.
Yeah, that's it. Fabsil.
Yeah, Fabsil Gold, mate. That's what I use most of the time for my bags, jackets, bits and bobs like that.
Yeah.
But then I think it was Rage you said about Gore-Tex. It will diminish after a couple of years or so, or a few years. So it's not really worth putting Fabsil on to Gore-Tex. I might be wrong, but if I going back through the memory, I think you said something along them lines. So yeah, Fabsil Gold, mate. That's what I've always used. Or on the boots, a bit of clear dubbing on if you've got the older for boots, the winter leather boots, just dubbing them up in the winter months, just to keep the waterproofing on them.
You did a little video talking of like covering kit and stuff, didn't you, Lance? Of some bit of spray painting. We've put it up on the
that was
Facebook
the new
page.
bag. I've got a new. It was just I got a new Northern Ireland Patrol Pack, MTP Patrol Pack. Not essentially needed it, but what I'd done is I'd lent a bag to a colleague of mine at work who subsequently moved back up to Liverpool. And I said to him, look, I said, you can either send me the bag back through the post or just PayPal me this much. And I sent him a picture of the bag, which is exactly the same. And so, long story short, he sent me the money. I got another bag, give it the Lance treatment because it was brand new and all shiny and bright and garish. So I just dulled that down with some 3 different colour rattle cans, the desert tan, a matte brown, and an ultra matte black Halford's camouflage paint, just to give it its bit of a worn look and just dull down them colours a little bit. So yeah, bit of a covering for it. I wasn't sure actually. There's a question for you: whether spraying something with a material with spray paint, would that add a sort of waterproofing effect to it at all, depending on the paint? Maybe, I don't know. I think I did ask the question in the video, but
I'm not sure.
I guess it would seal.
If there's any spray painters out there that are all experts in spray painting, that'd be great.
If anyone's ever sprayed a bag before, and it's
put it in the comments below. David has asked, "What's the best way to deal with spiders if you don't have a basset?"
And
don't go anywhere with spiders unless you've got a basset with you. Don't enter anywhere that's got spiders. There's no other way of dealing with it.
Gaz has answered it perfectly. Deodorant and a lighter.
Having said that, so a shop called Anchor Supplies is where I got mine from. You can get the little like mosquito mesh tents that the British Army use. So you can actually sit them on a cot bed as well. So I bought one of those because genuinely, whatever bit me that night that David's specifically referring to was horrible, and I'm not having that again. So I bought this little cot bed thing, and it takes about 10 minutes maybe at the most to set it up. But it is like a little mini tent that's just mesh. So
I'll just
good for keeping away spiders and also teammates that want to mess with you in the night.
Just keep a basset next to your bed, mate, on a lead. Bring Tony's little black leather studded collar on his chain. Just keep him next to your bed. No need for the mosquito net there.
So what do we want to talk about coming up? Because obviously we're getting towards the end of this episode. What we think about talking about? Everyone got any ideas?
Well, we got the MVG and the thermal is a bit of a given, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one to cover.
And very fitting for me. Let's just snap one in half. But did we want to talk about Pyro at some point? I know a few people mentioned about Pyro, and I think I think equally us as a a group of four, we all sort of use things a bit differently, don't we? I know Paul has a mortar. I know Lance, you have a mortar. Mike, I'm not sure if you are.
I've got a mortar as well.
Mike's got a mortar.
So I personally don't, but equally I use Tag Innovation products. So I've got a tag launcher, and equally use some of the tag sort of grenades, etc. as well. So I think we all have our experience in different types of flashbang, whether it be Oligay or is it TLFSX, etc. Yep. So I think that's one. I think Wayne's popping something in there, team role. So that's an interesting one. I know Lance, you obviously I can't say I've played with you guys, again, on your side, but I know you're very much into your hierarchy and your different roles within teams. I think that would be really good to cover.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good shout, Wayne. Yeah, that's certainly something we can cover.
Yeah,
James just said more of an Instagram idea potentially, but doing a full loadout descriptions and pics would be nice to see. We could definitely do that. We could do a few little breakdowns online. We've obviously covered a lot of bits and pieces in terms of clothes and stuff in previous episodes, so we don't obviously want to try and recreate those again, because otherwise, we'll just be talking about bags for the next 6 months.
But and obviously we've got to remember there's normally four of us. It can be quite difficult to get enough time for each of us to sort of go through what we want to go through. But I'm sure we could sort of maybe think about that in the future of maybe getting, like, say, Mr. Marden's loadout that he generally wear for a MilSim, and he could cover that one episode and then himself in another one, and things like sort of space it out like that maybe, and sort of just to sort of give us enough time to cover it. Maybe that would just do a cheeky 2 hour one night.
Another idea as well, we could always do a for different roles. So obviously we've done PMC. What else have we done? Vietnam. I know you guys had quite a good Vietnam setup. And bits and pieces. Maybe we could cover that as different, like.
We always do the cartels and the Taliban, don't we? So we can definitely sort of talk about some of the bits we the kit that we get and use, and that's absolutely fine. I think that'd be good. Gaz is talking about an upgrade and repairs episode.
Yeah, I'd sit back and watch that one because I know nothing about upgrading.
Yeah, I think equally, I think that yeah. There you go. I was just
having said that, we could get a couple of texts on and have a bit of a chat with them.
Yeah, definitely. I think
something we could include.
I'm sure James would be happy to try and talk through, obviously his world of, like you say, all things tech would be great. I think, Lance, was you talking about BBs, different brands of BBs and non-bios versus bios? I know you've been having some conversations with a particular brand maker.
We have indeed. Yes, I've been having a couple of chats with Jason over at Longbow, obviously your friend Mike, and I ordered some bio BBs, which I'm yet to get out in the field and test them, but I'm very keen to test them, and he kindly sent me a couple of other different sizes of the bio BBs that he has available, which again I'll be testing. It's just to see, I've been doing a bit of reading up on it, and bio BBs, they degrade down to the ground within between sort of, was it 20 and 50 or 90 days or something like that, so they are, it's tried and tested sort of stuff. And my thought behind it was that, it's all well and good using like plastic or whatever material that the standard BB is made out of, but at the end of the day, if you're in a nice bit of woodland and the floor is just completely trashed with these BBs that really ain't going anywhere for a very, very long time, if these bio BBs are just as good, the flight's just as good as a standard one, and the usability of them is the same as a standard BB, and I'll quite happily transfer over and just continue using bio BBs. So I know full well that if they're going to break down, then within that 90 days, it's not going to have an adverse effect on the environment that you're playing in. And a lot of time, let's be honest, it is a bit of woodland that we're in, and it can be a bit disheartening seeing all those BBs all over the floor. But if this sort of thing goes some way to sort of stopping that, then perfect. So I'm open book on that one at the minute. Can't say I will change over because I haven't tried them yet, but looking at them, I can't see any reason as to
They
why
look
not.
small
Why they
and
wouldn't
round
work.
and white.
They look small, round, and white, and that's a good start.
Mike, could we just flick up Rage's comment about getting the best out of MilSim events?
Yeah.
So I suppose it would just sort
Hang on.
so it's just the one where he's saying that Lance's admin pouch is really crap and we should give it to him. Sorry, comms pouch is really crap. But I suppose so just we'll come back to that bit. So Rage, let us know when your birthday is, and I'm sure we'll all be able to chip in and sort something out for you.
Yeah, I'll send you one of my crap comms pouches, Rage, for your birthday.
But I suppose Rage, so Pyro getting into tags, get it, how to get the best out of MilSim events. So is that how to get the best out of MilSim events as you as a player or as an organizer? Because I think it's really relevant, and it's probably relevant to two things, but I'm just trying to understand what Rage is after there. Is it for him wanting to participate and get stuck in, or is it going to a decent MilSim versus something that's not so good? So Rage, if you're still on, mate, if you can answer that, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Just going back to bio BBs because a few comments have come in. So bio depends if they rained. Depends biodegrading faster. James C also keep the environmentalists off our case if we can see them throwing a massive fit over it. Wayne says bios are a lot better now. And then Rage,
good stuff. Yeah,
as a lone player and as a team, decent or not?
Yeah, definitely something we can cover. That's all good. Yeah, no, but I'm excited. Like I said, gents, once we're allowed to, then I can get back to me private bit of woodland that I'm allowed to use. I'll be trying these out and I'll be testing it for the FPS. I'll do a standard test with the normal BBs first, half a mag, so to 30, 40 rounds perhaps. Record the FPS, change out for the bios, for flight, handling. Any noticeable. If I don't notice any change at all, then I'll happily change over to bio BBs, because that's what I'm hoping for, is that I won't know the difference between using the bios and the standards. That's what I'm sort of hoping to sort of see. I
guess it's the long-term storage.
Dropping FPS or anything like that.
So I guess it's like the long-term storage.
Do you need to store BBs for a long time? I mean, could you not just buy some week or so before the event, or a couple of weeks before the event? I mean, it's not like you're
a doomsday
prepper who's
run
got
the risk, don't you?
50 cal BB in his garage. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure you can. I'd like to think you could order some 2,500 bio BBs a month before an event. They'd still be good as gold.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, these ones that are right for me. I mean, can I show them? Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Is that something?
Guys, I'll come back to
the point. Shut down for showing dangerous ammunition.
Oh no,
so
I don't think
ammunition package, like nice strong bag package. These are the .28s I've got there. I've got .28s to test. I've got .30s, and I've got some samples of .45s and .4s. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see the flight change on them, if there is any FPS drops like that. And like I said, I'm hoping to not notice anything. And then if that's the case, then I'll be a convert to the bio BB. Which I'm sort of looking forward to.
Yeah,
so I do like my environment.
Yeah.
I do like me going outside. I do like me outdoors and my woodland and my bushcraft. And I'd like to see them sort of looked after. And if by doing that, if that's looking after them a bit more, then so be it.
Cool. Last few comments. We'll probably call it time. It's getting on a little bit. So Gaz said, yeah, Chronicles of Marshall. So yeah, I mean, you don't generally tend to get a lot of marshals at the MilSim events necessarily. But it's a good thing to consider.
Yeah, one or two in-game sort of marshals, maybe perhaps sort of trusted players, something.
I think like I say, marshalling is an interesting one, isn't there? I think we all know people that either sort of MilSim casually or MilSim, sort of marshal, on a permanent basis. So I think they're definitely getting a established marshal or marshals, into the show, and popping your questions in will be decent to get an insight, isn't it? Because I mean, I've had a go at marshalling in the afternoon, and then someone said, "Oh, I hit him," and I'm like, "Did you? Fuck me! Your BB goes so fast. I can't see every single BB whizzing around the heads, and that shows I'm not a great marshal, and I shouldn't marshal. So, but equally, there's others that are renowned for being very, very good marshals, and I'm sure our listeners, etc., can probably name a few decent marshals, and I'm sure we can probably turn too. So I think there's been some great suggestions, and it's given us plenty of
absolutely,
meat on the bones over the next 12 weeks on top of what we'd always been thinking about as well.
Yeah,
I think that's one for Paul, isn't it, to talk about being sponsored by
yeah. We'll leave it to the big man when he comes back.
Yeah,
we'll be getting snaps if we talk about that now.
Yeah, not the gentle giant, the fertile giant.
Right, well, thanks very much everyone for joining us. We're obviously back now for 2021, so keep an eye out for next Friday. We'll be back with another episode. What we're going to talk about, I don't know yet, because we're going to go through the list that I've been making while we've been discussing it. So cool. Join us next week. Paul should be back next week as well. And in the meantime, have a good one. Stay safe. Enjoy the beginning month of what's going to be an epic year. Yay!
Yes, absolutely. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you all later. Bye-bye.